Howdy, and welcome to the round table for Red Dirt D&D. I'm Michael Cross.
Connor Shenold.
Johnny Payne, fight!
Eddie Cross.
Brooke Bullock, what state am I in?
Oh, it's the state of confusion.
Water?
Liquid?
This is Kim Cross.
Solid?
And
I meant Union. State of the Union am I in?
State of the Union.
It's been a busy week for me, but
Plasma.
I'm glad to be here.
You have been all over the place. It's been good to have you back now, and we are talking about episodes 90 through 93, and we had a lot of fun going through the trials of the multiverse.
If you didn't know that the furries was silly, now you know for sure. But that was hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, of course, once the sound effects get in. Once again, you know. But it was great. It was this whole little kind of four set puzzle that was in there, and each one of them was wonderful.
Brooke, I miss the old dungeon crawls.
Is it true that if there are patrons on Discord can vote so that you never call us the Furies again?
That's
and
exactly
instead
right.
We are the camp counselors.
By the time this
vote,
your vote counts.
That's right. By the time this rolls, they've probably already voted. We probably already know if we've got how they feel about
That
us.
was the two choices?
But no, there are more.
Camp counselors or
No.
As the time of this recording,
At the time of this recording,
Take the furries off the list of choices.
I think the furry should always be on there.
That's
just in
right.
case.
That's right. And someone wanted to put the critters, but they were like, well, that kind of refers to maybe another big show.
We just spell it with a K.
Oh, the
Connor.
ding ding ding.
Connor.
There we go. Yep.
With a K. I mean,
Yep.
that's pretty much, been our running.
So in the future, they already know, as they're listening to this, they already know what
So they know
name.
now?
They
know
will.
now.
They will.
They
will
not
now be-
then. No, now's not then.
Them
When
in the
will they be
future.
now? Now we
When
know.
this,
The now
when
is
this,
when they will
when
know.
this
Welcome to
listening
time
is now,
travel.
This
they
is
will
now.
know.
Quantum mechanics.
Welcome to time travel.
Wibbly
Janeway.
wobbly, timey wivey.
It is. It is.
How do you know he's not the guy that invented it? So anyway,
Computer.
you got to use the mouse.
Bootstrap paradox?
Anyway,
Or the
you might have been
grandfather
trying to say
paradox.
something smart about the group name or
Yes.
whatever.
So what were the other choices?
It's not too. It's
What
not
are
too
the
late.
choices?
What
You
are the
wrote
other
Did you make the
choices?
poll?
Yeah, I did make the poll, but I haven't made the poll yet. So
Time
if you guys
travel.
remind Wibbly
Talk to us
Wobbly,
about making the poll
if you
behind
guys
the scenes.
if you guys remember Wibbly Wobbly Timey Wimey, the last round table we said, hey, there'll be a poll, and right now in the green room. There is a, hey, these are the nominations so far, running them through HR to make sure, anybody wants to check anything.
Our
So what you're
HR
saying-
is hard
and
at
so-
work.
Right. So what you're saying
What's
is
that strange blue box over there?
Yeah. So what you're saying is there might or might not be a poll that people might or might not have taken that they might or might not have the answers to right now.
Michael, it's Schrodinger's poll.
It is. It's Schrodinger's poll.
Yeah. Someone please open their email and see, is there a poll there? So
Anyway,
That's right.
episode 90.
So,
What was
All
that,
right,
guys?
Connor.
where once again Jaska says, and we're walking,
Not
and we're
Jaska.
walking.
It's
Connor. It's Connor.
Connor.
Always brings
Connor.
us
remember,
Connor.
Connor was the one who we were spent so much time in the last stop. And finally went, okay, we're leaving now.
That's right.
I'm walking away.
That's right.
If you guys follow me or not. It's up to you.
I'm heading out that way. All right.
Connor's my favorite kind of player.
Yeah. Yes.
Let's move on, please.
I want to jump in here real fast and say, yes, those were the only choices in his suggestion that we have a poll, the furries and camp counselors.
There's
So
only
get
two
with
right
the
now.
ticket.
Will
So
there
it's
be
a
more
coin
in the
flip.
future?
So maybe
right.
we should have
Who
a fill
knows?
in the blank.
That's right. There's, I mean, by the time they saw it, there's
Okay,
more.
you know what? On the poll, they have an other tab, and they
That's
can
right.
write in what the other suggestion is.
So episode 90, we started out with the showrunner being kind of cryptic, saying he'll be so glad to meet you again, and
Yes.
then stabbed himself to death.
That simulacrum thing going on.
And it became a simulacrum. And let me tell you,
Simu-
folks,
Abraham.
for those who don't know,
Right?
my
That was the
son
word.
loves
I
simulacrums.
do love that spell.
It now has become apparent because how many times do we have to kill this guy
Yeah.
before we kill this guy?
Yeah.
I will get into something later on, but I don't think. I mean, I actually won't get into that yet.
Yeah,
But
which is
there's
one of my-
something I do want to talk about for our patrons eventually.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite lines from Aladdin
yeah.
was, "How many times do I have to kill you, boy?" You know, it's like wonderful.
Yeah.
It's like that idea, and we've done that. We've had in many of your other stories, we've had good guys, NPCs who are simulacrums, and we've had it allows you for you to have NPCs cross worlds.
Yep.
But also bad guys who are simulacrums, and the princess is not in this castle moment.
I try not to do simulacrums that often, but when I do have fun with them.
I mean, what's
They
more
get out
of
of
a threat
control.
than the showrunner or like 50 showrunners?
50
That's right.
showrunners.
It's like
It was
Matrix 2.
I thought whenever I was thinking about that, I was like, it also gives you guys the chance to kill a bunch of showrunners.
Yeah.
Really vent our anger.
Really vent your anger out on this guy.
Our satisfaction isn't good. You can't just have one.
You can't just have one. And I also wanted that like shock factor of, oh, the showrunner's dead. Oh no, he isn't. I thought that was a little fun thing. And with all the I haven't listened to the episode yet, but with all the I'm sure all the laughing mouths were pretty fun. I don't know how that sound effect
That
turned
was
out.
that was creepy because it was your
Yeah.
laugh done like in a little kind of echoed loop or whatever.
Yes.
And you know what is the oh my gosh, it's from one of the Marvel movies where Loki is like all ha 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 laughing all around Thor and then kabam.
Yeah.
It was very much kind of like that.
I wanted to get that feel. That
Yeah, yeah,
feel
yeah.
that you could
the
hear
TVs
them.
in the Matrix is what I was thinking.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, yeah, that just that moment.
We've had some good Matrix references in the last couple of round tables.
25th anniversary?
Yeah, I don't know. So good stuff.
And so we actually got through that. He of course killed himself. There was no big deal. And then we walk on to a big, I guess, open cavern
Yeah, it's huge.
Yeah.
and one building that was all lit up.
Yeah, one building. I mean, there were a bunch of other buildings around, and there were actually, I will say this now, there were other miners in a building hiding out, but
Yeah.
you guys did not go that direction, so...
Oops.
They didn't really have too much to say. I just put them there just in case you guys were like, oh, let's go find the remaining miners. And they would say, oh yeah, one of our own went inside the building.
And that would give us tease to there's
a
somebody
guy
we're
in the
going to
building,
find
yeah.
later on. Yeah.
Instead, a little jumping ahead and jumping around, which is cool.
Yeah.
Instead, when we find that guy, we say, hey, the door out is back behind us.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, by the way, you know, when you see the bridge, be careful. You know,
Listen,
like,
we found the actual plot in this area. We didn't need to do a side quest.
That's true.
No, try and take somebody
We
back.
did-
Yeah.
on a mission
The
now.
hook didn't matter anymore. I just put a guy in there because I thought it was funny to put a guy in a box, and then have the boxes fall on you. But
Yeah.
getting a little ahead of ourselves.
Well, and I think once we got to the building, we had the plaque that said the trial of the multiverse in energy, light, time, space, and gravity.
And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
That was good. And Kim is like, is it a travel agency?
In my notes, I didn't really have a name for the city. It's just called the Lost City of Keys, is all it's called. It is related to Beatrix's stuff, although Beatrix doesn't know because Beatrix's whole backstory, she just has these keys.
Yeah.
Where they came from, she doesn't know
What's great is we have these
exactly
moments.
where they came from.
Well,
Yeah.
she knows that each one of them came from whatever object she'd been
Right,
given for it.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she doesn't know why they're different. She just knows this is the key to the armoire. This is the key to the most recent one that poofed her to where y'all were at the time was the key to the tobacco box. Yeah. So she doesn't understand why they're special.
A la carte. Smoke pipe. I'm telling you, I'm still on with the pipe weed and Dr. A la carte.
Dr. Alucard.
Because
He's coming back.
Because we met Beatrix
No.
because we met Beatrix in the asylum.
Asylum.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Yeah, and we still never got into the idea of how did Beatrix get into that whole
knows?
thing. So we get into and we know now that we're going to be fighting. We're going to have some challenges ahead.
yes.
And so I guess the first one we get into is that light?
Trial of Energy, actually.
Trial of
That's
Energy.
the one where you have to solve the dragon puzzles stuff.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
I had a lot of fun with that one because I was trying to make up because whenever you get into metallic and especially with the crystal and the strange dragon, which I think was a death dragon, I could describe what color they were, but you had to actually identify what they were
Yes.
by other designs. That's why I was so happy whenever I found the death dragon, so I give Krell some actual interaction here with he might know what a death dragon is compared to the rest of the party.
Yeah.
And the dice said no.
Yeah, the dice.
Yeah, unfortunately. So we kind of had to guess, but once you said death, it was like, I think had Twitch been there, it would have been.
It would have been like, oh, necrotic. Yeah.
Henry.
Twitch instantly would have been over there chanting around it, trying to raise dead. Like
Right.
it would,
Yes.
you know, make a dragon zombie. That would have been awesome. So
And
yeah.
that was good though, but I loved because it did. I kind of joked about the Corbin. I don't have any flame. Corbin. But
Fifth Element.
But it did have the fifth element kind of feel.
Yeah.
We're at these elements, so we've got to use something, our own special ability, to fill these braziers. I love
Yeah.
that idea.
In my imagination, that's the room I saw.
Right.
I saw the Fifth Element room in my imagination.
Yeah, I've never seen the Fifth Element. but
Okay.
What?
I
have never seen the
know.
Fifth
I know.
Element.
Well, because of his recent birth.
Yeah.
Due to my recent birth.
It wasn't
is a
appropriate
must-watch.
until not too long ago.
You do though, if you can find. I think it might be on HBO Max now.
Probably.
Do watch Fifth Element. It's one of the few sci-fis. First off, it's totally original, which even now is. I mean, back then and today is unusual. It's not based off of Star Wars or Star Trek. It was truly an original piece, and it has stood the test of time.
Yeah.
Which is really weird because it was '96, so almost 30 years
What?
old.
When was the book
Yeah,
written?
almost 30 years old. Is it based off a book?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, a French novel.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, but almost 30 years later, and it is still, it's
so good.
incredibly good
good
sci-fi.
Bruce Willis.
Easily Bruce Willis's
Gary Oldman.
best. Yeah, Gary Oldman,
So
fantastic.
you come over some Saturday, we have dinner, we watch the movie.
Yeah.
Woo!
Oh,
Watch
come
it-
on over.
Watching the movie.
We're watching the movie. It's got to be better than Godzilla versus King Kong, whatever it was we watched last time.
I haven't seen it. For so many people, you're the first person I've heard say something.
I don't know. I
I
haven't.
mean, it was
We haven't
it
finished
it
It was a movie,
movie.
and we didn't actually finish
It was a movie ever.
Yeah.
It was a movie.
The thing I've heard about that, as we're off on a tangent, is that if you go in expecting to enjoy it like a 10-year-old boy, it's incredible.
Sure.
And eat your popcorn and just have a fun punch 'em up.
I've heard that
movie.
about Venom,
That's
too.
the same thing people tell me about.
Love
It's
Venom.
like, hey man, what's your favorite Fast and Furious movie? I'm like, I've watched half of one. They're like, so they coach
Same.
don't take
Same.
it seriously. Pretend it's like a superhero
Yeah.
sci-fi film. I'm like,
But it's
I
like,
love
but it's
them.
like it's like 5-year-old you mashing your action figures together,
Yes.
hitting each other.
but with Michael Bay
And then-
there with the camera.
Yeah, with Michael Bay with
It's
the
actually even
camera.
better with your Hot Wheels because your Hot Wheels are doing these amazing things that defy gravity completely.
And then imagine your main character dying, but then that's your favorite figure though, so you bring him back like 10 minutes later because
right,
he
yeah.
just has to come back somehow, even though he was incinerated to death.
I
and
love the
disintegrated.
idea that your
And then once in a
5-year-old
while, you
playing
just go,
with Hot
bam.
Wheels and action figures.
Exactly.
I just get to watch Vin
It's the
Diesel.
moral of
I'm
the story.
that is a great way to put that.
right.
But yes, I think there are some movies where you just kind of have to go, just forget
Yeah.
any kind of logic or
True.
So
True. You know,
Hey,
favorite.
we play D&D.
That's right. Favorite characters that didn't come back? Twitch.
Oh.
Too soon.
Too soon.
You
Too
mean-
soon.
He was a favorite?
Shout.
You like me?
So
You like
shout
it, you
out,
really, really
Thanks,
like
shout
it.
out to one of our patrons, the landlocked siren. She caught me this weekend and was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm catching up. Why do I shed real tears over furry cartoon characters?" You know?
Right?
She's like, "This doesn't make any sense whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do you guys do that?" I'm like, "It's called acting."
Acting.
You know?
To go back on that action mechanically, I realized looking at that in the beholder stat block, the DC is actually 3 points higher for all those saving throws. So I realized it was actually more difficult DC wise for those Death Tyrant saving throws.
Why is it?
Oh well.
It's 1 challenge rating higher technically. So I don't know. That was an interesting thing I found.
Oh, okay.
So you guys actually had higher DCs, but you guys were rolling so terribly still.
We were horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered because we were just doing horribly. But yeah.
It's a weird tangent, thing I noticed.
So we also got on. So then we figured out the Trial of Energy, and then we got the Trial of Light, which is 6 Quickling statues.
Yeah, this encounter was me just like, I don't know, man. Fight something that moves at the speed of light. High AC, low HP. Let's see what happens. Because I could not think of an actual puzzle for light. Because that would be easy to do if I was developing like a Zelda game. But I can't show you physically
Yes.
or do that physically, you know. I'm sure there was something I could have done, but I just didn't think about it at the time.
That's also you're creating like 5 other rooms.
Yeah, that's true.
So
2 combat rooms.
But immediately nerfed by
Spike growth.
Jaska's spike growth.
which I think was genius.
That's about the only thing I could think of to do other than potentially web, because like at first I thought they were flying because they're quick wings,
Yes.
and I was like, okay, spike growth's not gonna work, so that's why I asked, and you're like, yeah, they're just on the ground. I'm like, oh, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And so we're going to get some more of that in just a moment. We're going to go to the Patreon version of this. If you want to see the full version of the roundtable, go to patreon.com/reddirtdnd. We're going to the full version of the roundtable right now.